What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian, and this is my YouTube channel where I love to talk about all things book related in my life. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to click on this video. And in this video, I'm going to be outlining all of the books that I plan to read in November of 2025. October was a crazy month for me. I read a lot of books. I had a huge stack that I set up for myself. And so, because of that, I didn't have too much room, like wiggle room, to kind of pick maybe a couple books that weren't on my TBR. I usually like to leave a little wiggle room so that if there's just like a book that sticks out to me that I really want to read, even though I didn't put it in my video, I still have like the time to do so. In October, I was very constrained to the books that I set up in my video because there was just so many of them and I spent all my free time reading. So for November, I wanted to be a little more loose with it. I just wanted to go with the vibes. I wanted to let my brain guide me to whatever book seemed to appeal to me the most. So I have a ton of awesome books here, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to list off a ton of books that I want to read within the next couple months. I have this huge stack. There's no way I'm going to get to all of it this month. It's like over double the size of the amount of pages that I read in October, but I'm going to kind of constrain myself to these books, but I don't know exactly what order I'm going to read them in or exactly which ones I'm going to pick, but they're all books that I really want to read. With two exceptions, there are two books that I am absolutely going to read this month, and I'll get into those in just a moment. But let's get into some books here. Now, at the time of recording this video, it is November 6th. I've already finished two books this month. Both of these were for school. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on them really. I'm going to save that for my mid-November reading update, but I just wanted to tell you which books I have read, and that is this book, One Kind Favor by Kevin McIlvoy, that one there. And then I also read a book called Spaceman of Bohemia by Jaroslav Kalfkar. I hope I said his name right. I have it on my Kindle, so I'm just going to pop up a picture on here. But those are the two books I have read. And then I am currently reading Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is a crossover from October that I did not get to finish because I'm irresponsible when it comes to schoolwork, and I had to put it to the side to start reading those other two books that I just mentioned. So I only have about 100 pages left in Dracula, and I'm hoping to finish it in the next couple days, and then I can move on to all these other books. So now we're going to get into the stack. Like I said, if I read all of these, it'll be a miracle. so, so let's get into the two books that I am absolutely going to read this month. So the first one is the one that was chosen by the book club that I'm part of with my friends and my fiance. One of my friends chose this book, and it is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I'm very excited for this one. Like all of my book club books, I don't know anything about it, but I did have it saved to my want to read list on Goodreads because it has really good reviews. A lot of people say it's awesome. And just the cover art seems really interesting, and it's got an octopus on it, and I love octopus. I have a tattoo of one on my arm right here. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I have no idea what it's about, but this is my book club book for the month, and I'm really excited to get into it. Some of my friends in the book club have already finished it, and they've said it's really, really good. So that's awesome. And then the other book that I'm 100% going to read this month is my nostalgia pick. Every month, I like to pick a book that I'm going to reread from my childhood to see how I feel about it as an adult. And this month, I picked Inkheart by, I don't know if it's Cornelia Funk or Funky. I'm going to say Funky, but I could be totally wrong. I just think Funky sounds more fun. So Inkheart by Cornelia Funky. Yes, I remember reading this as a kid. It's been like 10 to 15 years at least. I think I read it in like middle school, but I remember really, really liking this book. So I'm super excited to go back into this. I remember there's a movie for it too. I definitely watched it. I think it had Brendan Fraser in it. I don't remember liking the movie as much, but I remember liking the book a lot. So those are the two books I'm absolutely going to read in November. And then these are all the other books that I'm going to try to get to as many of them as possible, but I'm just going to go purely based off of how I'm feeling for the month. So two other books are pretty obvious. If I'm reading Inkheart, I also have Ink Spell and Ink Death right here. As far as these two books go, I remember starting Ink Spell as a kid. I do not think I finished it, and I don't remember anything about it. So I might as well not have read it. And I definitely know for a fact I have not read any of Ink Death at all. They've been sitting on my shelf for easily 10 plus years. And so I think it's about time to get into these. So as long as Inkheart is as good as I remember it being and I'm fully into it, I'm going to try to knock out this whole trilogy this month. That would be pretty cool. The next set of books are some easy ones. One of my major reading goals for this year is to finish Star Wars The High Republic by the end of the year. I have like 6 books left in it. So that's like, if I can do 3 books in November and 3 in December, that would be ideal. We'll see. We'll see if I get there. But I have the next 3 books in the series that I need to read. We have Beware the Nameless by Zoraida Cordova. I think that's how you pronounce her first name, Zoraida. If I said that wrong again, I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. But Beware the Nameless. And then we have this one's next, Tears of the Nameless by George Mann. And then we have Tempest Breaker by Kevin Scott. This should be an easy one. This is one of those like scripts that's put into book form, usually really quick to read. The last script I finished in like a couple hours. So this should be an easy one for me if I get there. So those are the, ideally, if I finish those 3, I'll be setting myself up really good to finish the High Republic by the end of December. Then we have, I have all these books here on my bed next to me. Another big reading goal of mine is to finish all of the Dune books, including the Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson books. I've been kind of slacking on that a little bit, so I have some Dune books here. I have the final 2 Frank Herbert Dune books that I have not read, Chapter House Dune and Heretics of Dune right here. So these ones, Frank Herbert's books, I love them, but they're a task. His writing is not, at least for me, is not easily digestible. So I leave a lot of space between my Dune books just because they're a mind trip to get through. But I have the last 2 here. I really want to finish those soon. And then I think it was back in July or September or August, I don't remember when, but I finished Sisterhood of Dune, which was the book 1 in the Schools of Dune trilogy by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. So here I have Mentats and Navigators of Dune. So I would love to finish off that trilogy too, since I really enjoyed Sisterhood of Dune. I liked it a lot more than any of the books in the Legends of Dune trilogy, which I read much earlier in this year. So if I can finish off 1 or 2 of these this month, that would be really great too. So a ton of Dune books there. As you can see, there's no way I'm finishing all this month. This is a lot of pages. And then finally, I have 3 more books here. This one I definitely think I'm going to read this month. That is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I read Horns by Joe Hill last month in October, and it was one of my favorite. It made it into my top 3. I really want to read another Joe Hill book, and pick Nosferatu because I'm reading Dracula right now. I don't know how much crossover there's going to be. Probably not much, but I was like, I'll pick this one. So excited for that. I'm really excited for more Joe Hill. I actually own all of his books because my fiance had them when we moved in together. So it's perfect. I just have his whole bibliography except for his newest book that just came out. So, and then my last 2 books, these ones just popped out at me on the shelf. The first one is a book I have read, but it was back for school, and that is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I don't know why this one poked out at me. Maybe because it's like a really nice small book. And sometimes it's good. Like most of these other books I've held up are like 3, 4, 500 pages. So I think I was like, maybe having a nice small little book on the TBR would be cool too. I don't remember particularly loving this book, but I also read it when I was much younger and hadn't read as much and didn't have as much appreciation for older books. So I know it's a very famous book, and I really want to reread it as a adult. I wouldn't consider it like one of my nostalgia picks though, because I don't have a ton of nostalgia for it. So that would be fun to read. Is The Great Gatsby. And then the last one, I don't know why I picked this one. There was nothing that spurred it, but this is another one of my fiance's books, and I just think the cover looks cool. And it's The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, I think it's pronounced. I don't know. Once again, names just escape me. But The Alchemist right there. And I asked my fiance, I was like, "Is this book good?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's really good." So another just small one. Like this might be like a nice little like palate cleanser in between some of these bigger books that I'm reading. So that is The Alchemist right there. So those are the books that I'm going to try to start chipping away at over the course of November. We'll see how I do. I always like to do a mid-month reading update, so stay tuned for a video about midway through the month of November where I'll give some thoughts on One Kind Favor and Spaceman of Bohemia, and hopefully Dracula by then. I'll definitely have finished it by then, and we'll see how I do chipping away at some of these other books. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Christian. Again, I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.